And character is important and has been important at every one of the moments in our country's history. Think about it. If in 1776, Washington and Adams and Jefferson and Franklin had decided to negotiate with King George and not have the character and the courage it took to stand up for independence, which they knew had freedom and liberty, we'd be a smaller country. If in 1861, Abraham Lincoln decided to give the South away, rather than stand up and have the character to say that a house divided against itself cannot stand, we would not have the country that we have today. In 1941, if Franklin Roosevelt hadn't said that Holocaust around the world and Nazi domination was something the United States was unwilling to live with, well, we would have been a smaller country today, not the leader of the world that we became. And in 1981, if Ronald Reagan had been willing to live with a Soviet empire that killed and discriminated against its own people, that squashed its faith, then we would not have seen 9 years later the falling of the Berlin Wall and now a free and democratic Europe that helps to support the hope and the faith of each and every one of those people. Our faith teaches us, at least my Catholic faith teaches us, that character doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean that you're free of sin or faults. But what I believe my faith requires of me is when I do sin, when I do make mistakes, when people who work for me do the same, that I must admit it, that I must take responsibility, that part of getting forgiveness, whether it's from God or whether it's from the people who elected you when you make mistakes, is to first accept that responsibility and ask for forgiveness. That's what character really is. Because beware, everybody, of a leader who never makes mistakes. Beware of a leader who has no faults. Beware of a leader who says that when something goes wrong, it's everybody else's fault. And he goes and he blames those people for anything that goes wrong, but when things go right, everything is to his credit. Now, there are a lot of people who wonder, after I was the first candidate to endorse Donald Trump in 2016, the very first, after he made me chairman of his transition, after he made me chairman of his opioid and drug abuse commission, after, and this one will keep you up at night, everybody, after I played Hillary Clinton in debate prep. You won't be able to sleep thinking about that one tonight. And after I played Joe Biden in debate prep in 2020, why am I running for president of the United States? I'm running because he's let us down. He has let us down because he's unwilling. He's unwilling to take responsibility for any of the mistakes that were made, any of the faults that he has, and any of the things that he's done. And that is not leadership, everybody. That is a failure of leadership. And you can boo all you want. But here's the thing. Our faith teaches us that people have to take responsibility for what they do. People have to stand up and take accountability for what they do. And I cannot stand by, and as soon as I've started to be critical, after all of that, and after you offered me White House Chief of Staff, now what he does is call me names and belittle me. And I will tell you, if all you do is disagree with someone, and in return you get that kind of treatment, I've joined a great list of Americans like Rex Tillerson and Jim Mattis and Mark Esper and Mick Mulvaney and John Kelly and all the rest. And you can love him all you want, but I will tell you that doing those kind of things makes our country smaller. It makes our country smaller, and it makes us lesser. During the Revolutionary War, Abigail Adams asked her husband John if they were going to win the war. And here's what John said. He said, I can't guarantee success in the war, but I can guarantee something better, that we deserve it. Ladies and gentlemen, you never know what's going to come across the desk of the President of the United States. It's not a litmus test of boxes checked. You need to know what's in here. We need to once again, as people of faith, put character first. If I'm President of the United States, I will put character first. I love each and every one of you for what you contribute to our country. I love that you are people of faith. I am too. And let's make America a country that cares once again about character and faith. Thank you all very much.